Hello, I'm the Tycoon engineer and welcome to this third episode of this Transport Fever 2 Tycoon challenge where we're on the road to $1 billion using only road vehicles. And now we have some profitable lines on our network. They're all a bit disparate, all a bit far apart, all doing their own thing, but they are crucially making money. So something we want to do this episode is I want to start to connect up some of the big cities that we have in our map. So the way this is seen is the two largest towns in our map are Chertsey here in one corner, and we also have High Wycombe right basically in the other end of the map. So it's not ideal, but I do want to connect these up, and I've noticed looking at the map they both require goods. So High Wycombe requires goods, and as does Chertsey has a requirement of goods. So I want to start to meet this demand because goods are something that most towns in this map need. There's quite a few towns that need it, and the goods factories are quite far away. I've got one over here in Wolverton and Greenlays. We've got others that are spread out around, but I like the look of this one because it's got this plastic factory chemical plant at Honiton up the road, which is good. The only thing is we need to get the goods to both these places. So what I'm thinking at this point is if I draw a straight line between High Wycombe following the curvature along here, about the middle point I get to, I could bring all the goods here, send them in either direction to the different towns, as well as bringing, and while I'm doing that I can actually bring this oil over, oh no, not this oil, I need to take it down to this refinery. I can bring that back and then come back to the central hub, so I can have a nearly full line, which I think will be quite profitable. Supply this refinery with lots of oil from there. We'll get plastic, which can then supply in here, and we can then connect our steel here into our steel into this goods factory, and we should have a working goods production setup. So it's ambitious, but at this point we are making good money. You can see that ticking in as we play through. Our finances are looking healthy. We're in 1856, so I think this is gonna be the central point of this map, and how we're going to do this is having a central location to distribute the goods, and then we'll connect all the towns into that central location. If we try and sort of go around the map like a dot to dot between the towns, it could get quite convoluted and complicated. But if we bring everything into this central location near Carnforth, I think it's going to be our Carnforth cargo hub, and we distribute from there, that's going to make our life a lot easier in terms of connecting all these industries to the towns, to the people that need them, and hopefully we'll see some good growth from there. We're still playing at half date speed, so we're a bit faster than the last episode, but we should get through. So without further ado, let's get into building. So we've got 500,000 nearly, and we do have the option to borrow more. We will do that if we need to, because I do want this to be kind of like a freeway, or a motorway as we call it in the UK, that's going to run from High Wycombe to Chertsey. We can also potentially have a passenger line that goes between them, which in the horse-drawn cart age is going to take about 3 weeks to get across the map, but it is going to be the basis for our future transport network once those technologies come in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to connect up and start producing oil at the Carnforth oil refinery. And I just want to have half a mind. Let's bring up the contour map to where our cargo hub is going to be. It's really nice and flat around here. I think like here is going to be the central point that we do it for our cargo hub. Low lying, although we do have to climb a bit to get to Chertsey. We might be able to come around here to avoid those hills, but it's not a steep hill, so maybe we can cut through a little bit. So I think we'll build our cargo hub around here, but for now let's just connect in this oil to this refinery here. So the first thing we need is we need to build a road, and I'm going to build it across through here because that's going to connect into where our cargo hub is, so that might be useful in the future. And we'll just build a small country road for now because nothing is going over those speeds. So let's put the curve mode in. Let's have a look around how we get through this section. So I want to bring this curve, I don't want it to stick out like that. Let's come from this end like so. Let's try there. We've got a bit of an embankment coming over here, but I don't mind that too much. See, I kind of want to, if I bring this road out straight first, will I get a better curvature coming through rather than having that jutting out? So I can now move that up around here, and this is the kind of path I wanted. Not too much of an embankment, so we get through there, and we can now, yeah, it does some weird things sometimes, the curved one, but I want to just bring that through this flat-ish area here. You can see we drop off, but we're heading towards this refinery here, so we want to keep on this ridge that runs along there. We'll not come off that. So we kind of hug tight to this. We hug tight to the hill. We shouldn't have to change gradient too much. You see we're going up there. I'll bring it over there. You can see the arrow here is showing me that that's nice and flat. So that's going to cost me 116,000, and I think we'll just bring that straight actually to here. We'll let the road go down, and we'll bring it in for a nice connection to go left there. In the future we might have a little, in fact we might do that now, we'll have a little cut off or a little turn. Let's see if we can get this to curve a bit more. Sometimes I think if you hold C it doesn't snap so much, so we can bring that around to there and bring that onto our road like so. How's that look? Okay, so we've got a nice deviation there. So now we need our depots, so we're going to build a cargo depot here. We're just picking up, so I'm just going to have the one platform to save a little bit of money. And we'll pop it, where can we find it's reasonably priced? We'll say 51,000, that's pretty good. So we can pick up from there now, and we can drop off here. We will need both sides on this one because we're going to pick up and drop off. So we can get that for just under 79,000, so we'll go there. So I can put our depot now in the sort of center of this triangle, or near this triangle. This is going to be the hub, so I think that would be quite useful to have that there. And we can now start to buy some vehicles for our line. So we are going to need quite a few because we want to take as much of this oil to that refinery as possible. So I'm going to pop that on a new line, and it's going to be called Convoy crude. So go with our Convoy crude. We do want it to be full load at when we go to lower Convoy down here, and we're going to let that play out. They're all going the wrong way, which is annoying, but I'm not as worried about that as we are still just about making money. We haven't had to take our loan out to do that. So now we've got our refined oil. We need to bring that over here. Now it might be worth them dropping that off in the cargo hub that we begin with. Then other vehicles can trundle along in this direction towards Wolverton until they meet here, where they can drop off the refined oil and they can then take the goods back that way. So that's what I'm thinking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some money building a rather large cargo hub, and it's quite expensive to build a full whack. I mean, we could increase that later, maybe is a better option. All these vehicles going the wrong way. I wonder if I manage your vehicles, can you turn them all around? Don't seem to be able to turn them all around, but I think I do want them to come into this cargo hub and drop off the refined oil there. They're not going to do that at the moment because there is no connection, so Carnforth East is not going to send anything. So we do need to connect in now this line. So if those trucks are going to come up here, they're going to bring their plastic and bring back the refined oil. We have a bridge there which will save us a little bit of money. So I think we should have, if we build a smaller cargo hub here, and if we build it, if we rotate this side onto the road here, let's see, thinking that what we want is to come in at the front and leave at the back there. So I might pop that. Let's see, will that connect into here? We do need it to connect in. So it's not connected just yet, but I think if we build that like so, configure this now, and we'll say that we're going out this way or going out this way. We're going out this side. We're going to come in this side. And then we connect these roads up. Like so. Now hopefully that is connected. See, that's lit up white. So that is connected, which is good. And the vehicles are going to come out this way and head on their merry way, either off down there or indeed down here. Where do I connect this? I want to, yeah, we will, let's do that. So they're going to come out there, they're going to come in here. Obviously at the moment they're going to come that way. They're going to have to come and turn around, which is not ideal, so we'll need a little bit of a loop to bring those vehicles around. I don't know if that's going to be efficient. I'm just trying this out right now. It seems a mess. It's an absolute mess, don't judge me. We will improve it later, but for now we can build our one-sided. We need two really, and we are running out of money. So I'm going to borrow some money at this point, and we are going to build our cargo hub to connect this material here. So save ourselves a little bit of money drawing it away. So now we can connect that line to there. We can bring products in between. So what we will do is we will put in a cargo hub, a truck stop here, 15,000, and what we'll do for now is we'll just connect the one vehicle so it doesn't cost me a fortune in maintenance costs while this gets up and running. We can add to that later. So this is going to be our Wolverton. What we're doing, we're taking plastics, so we're doing Wolverton plastics. I'm going to bring up the refined oil, drop it off there. So now we need to connect here with our refined oil to our refined oil stop here. So we're going to have this cargo hub there, which is going to cost a lot of money, and we need to build the roads, and we need to decide whether we need to build a bridge, and I think we potentially do, although we either build the bridge across here or we cut round here and potentially send this road in a more direct fashion around here, which I think what we'll do. I think that will be cheaper in the long run than building the bridge. So we can cut that off there. And we need to now get around here. So let's have a look at the contours, where that's going. So cutting around that hill, do we go through the trees? I think we just go straight over there. How does that look? So we are going up and up and up. Quite direct there. Angle 64 degrees, 69 degrees to there. Nice and straight bit of road. And now we should cut through here. Oh, I wanted to build a tunnel. It wanted to build a tunnel. And that was going to bankrupt me, so we're not going to build a tunnel just now. That's for later down the line when we really can afford it. And we can't quite afford that just now. So we can bring this around here. And oh. Okay, we're getting into bridge territory here. When we cross over that bit, we want to go down into this. Down into that there. And can we, how much does it cost to bring that into this road here where this coal is from? Nice straight bit of road potentially. Like so. And we now have our road that's going to connect. We can now connect from here to there. So what we can do now is we will start with a smaller hub because it is so expensive to build one any other way. We're going to rotate this. Let's take the contour lines off. Rotate this here. So we're going to come in here like so. We'll configure this again. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it. I want it to be on the other side of the road. Just looking at that, I want it to be here, I think. Or do I? They're going to come down there, drop off there, and then scoot there. So I think at this point, we are going to build it here. So we'll rotate that a little bit so it's parallel. Or it doesn't necessarily need to be parallel. What if we did it like this? And we will configure that to have vehicles coming in this way and out this way. We'll connect that up with a bit of road coming into here. Don't like the look of that just now. So if we go from there, we come off there, and then we can go straight out to here. Vehicles can go right there. So now we need to add this as a stop. So they're on their way back. We need to manage the line, add a station, and go there. So why are they doing this janky setup? Ah, okay. I put it in the wrong place. We need to add the station on here. That's better. So they come back down, turn right, drop off there, and then go pick up some more crude oil. So that should at least mean we're bringing some refined on the way back, and that's going to pay for that. So now we need to have a line connecting these two. So again, we're just going to buy the one with a new line that goes from our spoke hub over here to our central Carnforth hub over there, and we're going to rename the line to be our Carnforth refined, and we're going to actually change the name of this hub here to be our Carnforth Central Cargo Hub. It's the CCC hub. So we go with the Carnforth Central Hub. Vehicles will start going in there, dropping off whatever they can from there, and hopefully we will start to see some refined oil appear there. But first of all, we need to get some crude oil. And so far we delivered absolutely nothing because the vehicle's been wandering around doing a whole lot of sweet nothing. But what is the rate on this line currently? So rate is 23. We can afford to put some more vehicles into it. Earnings are... we're okay. We're still making money, so I think we can afford to buy some more vehicles. So we'll go to the line for Carnforth Crude. We'll manage the vehicles, and we'll... oh, I've not got enough money. Let's get some more money. Thank you, Mr. Bankman. Okay, I want to go to 30 vehicles, I think. That's going to get us up to 68. So we should start to see some crude oil being taken there and then dropped off here. And then we will have Carnforth Crude. We'll move that to Terminal 1. So we should start to see our Carnforth Crude there drop off, and our Carnforth Refined go that way. I'm going to swap those two round because Carnforth is doing a bit of a loop-the-loop, which I prefer not to. So let's put it on Terminal 2 and put the Refined on Terminal 1. That means that that one is doing a loop-the-loop, which is, well, I don't know. I need to do something about that because I like the way that it does that, but it's something like it's going too far and it wants to turn that way. When it does that, I want it to go there, but it wants to come this way. So that's a little bit annoying, but we will leave that for now. So we're going to go pick, look at this, army of horse-drawn carts on their way to pick up some crude oil. There's loads of them. It's like a great caravan from east to west across the United States. Lovely. Okay, so that's our first step here, is bringing that crude oil to there, refined oil all the way up this road to here, where we've got coming from there, dropping off, and then we're going to take the refined oil to the plastics factory and bring it back to here where it will get turned into goods, and then the goods will get taken back to there. Now the goods currently will not get taken down there because we have no goods connections, no demand for goods from there. So we need to have demand, so we can either go to market to High Wycombe, which is further from our central hub, or we potentially come into Chertsey here, which I feel like is going to be the cheaper option at this point. If I cut out Keynsham there and go across to our central hub, I can connect a single carriage in, and we should start to see that demand flowing. So let's do a bit of that. So we will bring this line out here. I want to curve that way. Like so, and I want to bring that into in to our line here. Like so. That cuts out Keynsham, and then we just need to be able to bring vehicles from our cargo hub here as directly as possible across the map there. So we're going to, there's a big hill in the way there, but if we come out this way and over there, we should avoid most of that hill. So let's do that. Maybe we need to look at the contours a moment. Not showing any contour lines, so it can't be that bad. So we just come out this direction here. We will curve around, staying nice and flat there. And we're going to come down. Whoa, look at that bridge. Look at that bridge. It's absolutely atrocious. So we're going to maybe have to wind our way down a bit to avoid the need for that. So we do want a curve to come this way in. I think it's a bit too steep there with the starting angle. Let's go for that. We can afford that, so we can almost bring our line in, and we may need to bring in some more loan to connect this central hub here. There, so that's going to cost us about 200,000. So I think rather than wait, I'm going to borrow some more money from Mr. Bank. We will head over to the central hub, which we could connect directly to there. So we're going to have to create some nice junctions in the future when these roads get really busy. I imagine this line is going to become extremely busy. So now we can drop off in Chertsey here. If we have a look at our, if we click on this, or we want our, where's the one? There we go, goods. Where are the goods required? So the goods just generally want to go, oh no, there's some goods required here. So that's within the range of this one. There's not many goods needed at this point in the commercial area, but that works already, so we don't need to change that. We can just drop off here, and what we might do for this one is just build a station on the other side, so we can have the vehicles drop off there and then do a little turnaround, and off the back they go. So we need to connect up this hub here with a cargo vehicle, and we'll put it on a new line, and we'll connect that there to our Chertsey, and this is going to be our Chertsey goods line. And so this is going to start to pull, it's going to start to bring that demand of goods from our central hub here. We now have demand there, so that's going to mean that this goods factory here, when it eventually starts to produce goods, is going to start sending them this way in order to send them that way because the demand is there. We could just do a straight route across there, of course, but we're going to distribute the goods from here to lots of different places, including, where else needs some goods? We've got Dawley out there needs some goods. We've got High Wycombe needs some goods. Market Bosworth needs some goods. So you can see there's lots of places, and Honiton needs some goods as well, and we also need some goods here at Wolverton and Greenleys. So there's lots of places that need the goods, and we can distribute them from that central point once we start producing those goods. So how are we looking now? We might need to speed up the game a bit to see this all start to move. We've got our crude oil now being collected from Carnforth Crude, and slowly but surely it is, I hope, making its way. We've got 4 there, making its way to here where it will make 2 refined oil. That refined oil hopefully will start to make its way back on those same vehicles to here. So what we could actually do here, we know it's going to make 2, so what we'll do is we'll set the line when it gets to Carnforth East. We can say load if available, full load. Can't set to half load, which is a shame. So we'll just leave that as is. It's going to pick up on average 2 once that starts producing. Bring that back to here, and then that should, hopefully, with this one little vehicle doing there, that's all we need to create the connection, so that business knows that there is a demand and they can send it along this route, albeit slowly at the moment, but we need to wait for that to build up. The other thing we need to start to do in order to get goods from this factory here is we need steel. So we are producing steel here, producing 56 currently. with what we're receiving from there. And what we can do is we could bring the steel to here, which I know is not very far, but it's going to save us. It's going to make a little bit of efficiency here. Bring that steel to there, to our Honiton South, and then we'll have a single load trip, which is going to bring that. It's going to bring that steel over here, and then stop off, pick up some coal. Now what are we doing? We're going to bring the steel. So we're going to bring the steel back. We're going to connect from there. We're going to connect that into this little spoke here, where we've got a Wolverton depot, and then that will supply to this place and do that. So let's connect in this road. So we need another road that's going to go. So I think we'll just use the roads that have already been made. This stage in the game, we're going to make some efficiency savings by using pre-laid out infrastructure. So we'll bring that over. I do love a curved road. You'll see me use the curve function a lot more than any other. So bring that out here and come and connect that in. Nice swoop of a road, and that looks lovely. So I am pleased with that. And we also need a vehicle that's going to connect in to there. So we're going to bring, we've got a depot. There's a depot here that's a bit closer. We can buy some vehicles. We'll buy 5 for now. They're going to be on a new line, and you're going to pick up steel from here, and you're going to bring that steel to the goods factory over here. Okay, so we can't obviously load them onto this plastic one because they hopefully will be full of plastics, unless this is it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so all the plastics are bringing that way, they're going to bring back. So we're not going to worry about them picking up there. That should mean that these vehicles will start to be supplied with some steel, and you can see that's already started to happen. We've got this vehicle here which has got 2 steel on it already, and so it's going to take the steel on this short trip, which we will be paid for. So that's going to make this coal line more profitable, which is the kind of thing you like to see. So we're going to see that happen. We are going to need more for definite, connecting these two up, because the rate here, well, we didn't lane this line. So line 1 Honiton is going to be Honiton steel, let's say, and we're going to start bringing that steel from there, and we're going to bring it over to our little hub here, where it's going to be consumed and turned into goods. So it is going to take a while for all of that, especially with the speed of these vehicles. Let's have a look how we're doing with this. So we're getting about 7,000 for our delivery of oil here, and we're going back with 2 there, so that is handy. So they're all queuing up with the crude oil and taking back the refined oil, loading up with that. And you can see this factory is now starting to consume a decent amount there. And rate wise, we are only at 70 there, so we're only going to produce about 35, which is nothing to write home about. We have now got some refined oil building up here, which is going to start being taken over by the refined oil line, which is a rate of 1. So we do need to increase that, because otherwise we're going to start to lose. If we're producing 40-ish, the Carnforth crude line is taking about 70, so producing about 35 refined oil. We've got a rate of 1 with our current refined line. We're going to need to increase that considerably. So we can go over to the vehicles. We're going to duplicate that. So it's now 3. We'll duplicate that again. We've now got 5. I think we want to get it to about 30. So So we'll do that one more time, and then one more time. We've got up to 30. So hopefully now we'll start to see some of that refined oil going along this long route to our Wolverton cargo hub. So we'll actually rename this to our Wolverton cargo hub. And so our Wolverton cargo hub, that's going to start taking that off. You can see we've got traffic building up here because they're trying to take refined oil. So they've all come from the wrong end, which is super useful. And we will have a build up and we'll start to lose some of this refined oil, which I don't really want to do at this point. So for the time being, I don't really like to do this. Oh, it's quite expensive to put these down. 82,000 for... There's not really much price difference. That's 82,000 for the large one, and a medium one's going to cost me 81. So if I pop down a large one there, it's going to stop us losing that. So when they do eventually come back, they should turn around pretty quick and pick up that refined oil. So how's our steel looking? Are we taking full loads of steel? We're not taking any steel at the moment. Did they miss the steel? So again, we've got lots of coal, but we need another platform here. So that's going to reduce our capacity. So if we pop another platform down, we'll swap the steel over to the second terminal, or the first terminal as it were. That's going to give it a bit more space so we don't lose as much of that steel. And we are producing about, well, it's a good amount of steel being produced, about 52, and our rate on this steel line is 6. So again, we need more vehicles, otherwise we're going to lose, consistently going to lose steel that is being produced, which we don't want. So we can run out of money. Get up to 12. Need some more money, please. Do I get a loan or do we just wait? So I think I'm losing quite a bit of money on the maintenance costs while these lines are setting up. I'm at risk of maybe overdoing it. You've got to keep an eye on this because our profits are going up, so that isn't so much of a risk. I think we're still doing okay. Sometimes you can overdo it with the project and basically bankrupt yourself as you start to lose money before you even get going, which can be annoying. So the other one we've got a potential here is we've got stone and we've got bricks here. We could do that and also bring some of that brick back to this cargo hub, which would eventually find its way into the main network and be distributed out. So that's definitely something we can look at. It won't work at the moment because we need a destination for it, unless Chertsey requires bricks, but it doesn't. So taking that central cargo hub at the moment is not going to do what we need. We can find somewhere else nearby who consumes. So Market Bosworth does that over here. Keynsham does. That's not too far from Carnforth, I think. It's only there. Ongar is a bit further away. Stockton-on-Tees is a bit further away, so we could do that. It's only a short back and forth trip, but it's currently not going to demand. We're not getting any demand because you're not connected up. If we connect Market Bosworth up, which we will need to take goods to High Wycombe as well, that would work quite well. Now the interesting thing about High Wycombe is we are producing fuel, so we could take goods to High Wycombe and we could bring back some of that fuel along that line to our central hub, and then it could be used in Carnforth where it's needed. We also need it in Chertsey, so some of that might also be taken to Chertsey if we bring that into our central cargo hub here. So that is definitely an option. I might have to move this as this gets bigger. I feel we may need to move it. So crude oil, we're still picking up crude oil. We are producing the refined oil. So that is, we've moved it all, which is what you expect. One going back. This one's going to drop off 4, probably take 3 on the way back. So I think now we want to connect in Market Bosworth and High Wycombe to our central hub, because that's going to create the demand again for goods, but also for the bricks and the fuel from our central hub. If then we can supply a central hub with fuel or the bricks from here, then we're going to start to make that line quite profitable. So our central hub is here. We can follow along this road. We will cut out Carnforth. We don't want to get bogged down in the town there, and we want to connect, I think if we go through the mountains through here, we can connect onto this road to save a little bit of money at this stage. We've only got 200,000, so it's quite an ambitious project. We also have bricks already being produced at Market Bosworth, so we are already getting the demand met. How profitable is this line? So that is doing okay. Let's have a look at the lines overall. So our Carnforth refined line is not making any money at this stage. We've just had the last bit of maintenance come in, and that's not making a lot of profit. Nor is the steel at the moment. We have got a build-up of steel, and we've got a good amount of steel being produced, 50 steel being produced, and we are not as yet taking any steel down here. Where are those vehicles that are going to bring the steel? They're here. Have any of them got steel on them? So at the moment we've just got no product. Nothing is happening. They're all going in the wrong direction, so that's why that line is not making any money. Okay, so I think we are going to connect that line up. It will create some demand for those bricks, even if it's already been met by this construction materials plant. We're transporting everything that's being produced there, which is good. Okay, so let's build this road. We've got to build up our money now. I've delayed for long enough, and I think we'll come along this road, cut up through Carnforth, connect onto here, maybe cut across there, and then scoot round to Market Bosworth there. So it's interesting. I like to use the contours of the land. I like to use the way that things are set out, because that's how things were done in history. Is that they were doing that. We're not using a boat, so I'm not actually worried about the navigable waterway there. I'm building that bridge in a direct fashion across there. But you know, I find it makes for more interesting maps if you lay into and you lean into the contours rather than building massive tunnels and bridges through the landscape. You know, British Rail, the railways in the UK are littered with examples of where weird considerations were needed to be taken into account of, like the gradient of the land, which is an obvious one, but also landowners and existing interested parties often made their feelings known when the railways were being built. They weren't received with much popularity, even though once they were built, people loved them. And so there's all kinds of weird examples where they go around wealthy landowners in a wide curve when a direct route would have been more convenient. But here we are. We try and recreate some of that with our playthroughs because it makes for a more interesting map. And we're going to spin off from here. We're going to try and go through these mountains. Try and sort of sweep through the valley here in the middle of these mountains. Make for a nice little scenic route. And we're going to try and sweep around. I don't want to sweep that way. I want to sweep. I would like you to sweep this way, please. So we'll go to about there. And we'll maybe a bit too far than I was looking for, but I want to connect into there. I don't want to build a bridge because it's going to bankrupt me at this point, and I think I might just be able to afford this. So I'm 6,000 short. Come on, come on. There we go. Somebody build that. So I've now got the road that I can connect from my central cargo hub to Market Bosworth directly, and there is already a drop off, so I can just put the one vehicle in from the cargo hub again to Market Bosworth to High Wycombe, and then those demands will be transmitted, communicated down the supply chain. So we'll buy a vehicle now. I'm wondering whether we go to Market Bosworth and then on to High Wycombe rather than two separate lines. Let's see. Yeah, if we build a line, a goods line and a passenger line that scoots between High Wycombe and Market Bosworth, then we can move goods between the two of them, which would be quite good. Or do we just have a straight line to High Wycombe? Because we're going to be picking up that anyway, picking up some of that fuel potentially from there. I think we will, because I think what we will do is we'll start to distribute some of this fuel into a hub at Market Bosworth, and then we can take some of the goods back from there to High Wycombe from the Market Bosworth hub. So I'm going to use this road we created earlier. And I don't know if I'm going to have enough money to do this just yet. We do have a lot of stone here, 41, and we're producing a lot more, but we are meeting the demand, so we don't actually need it further down the line. Let's connect in our we need the depot, we need the cargo hub, Market Bosworth cargo hub. So I'm going to bring it on this side here, and eventually we might sweep that over to cut off, but then we can drop off in we do already have one here. Maybe we could just utilize this one we've got, bring that to that one there, and then we'll get more bricks coming in this way, which we've already got a route for, and we can distribute from there over to High Wycombe. So that's what we'll do. It's going to save me some money. I don't have a lot of money at the moment, so we'll build a cargo vehicle. We will set it to go from our cargo hub, which is going to become quite busy quite soon, and we're going to take that over to our Market Bosworth. So we'll call this our Market Bosworth goods. Now at the moment I don't know that a lot is going to be taken. Obviously these vehicles are bringing the bricks into Market Bosworth, so if there is goods transmitted, some of them will go that way towards Market Bosworth, which is a good thing, because we want to meet those demands as well. But we now need to connect this line into High Wycombe so we can further transmit those goods on our diagonal spoke all the way into High Wycombe. So what we will do is, we're going to create a bypass. We're going to bypass the town and go there, and then that will create, I suppose we could come this way, and I think around there just to bypass that corner. That way it won't get in the way of anything that we're doing when we eventually do a passenger line. So I think the last thing we'll do on this video is connect these two towns up, because they are starting to grow and I feel like they need a passenger connection. I feel like we can do that. Connect a little straight bit, then I might get a bit more curve there, which is the kind of look I want. Bring that there, and again at the moment I'm just going to create the one as a communication vehicle, really, to transmit the need for goods from Market Bosworth to High Wycombe. So they're probably not going to bring anything at the moment, but they will in the future, and they will start to transmit that demand. Excuse me. Right, so it's a demand-based game, which I really like about Transport Fever 2. You've got to create that connection in to get the produce, the completed connection, and now High Wycombe demands tools, which is interesting. So if we can connect tools into this central hub here, we can also start to transmit those. So we need let's do the passenger line between there. We'll just have a little passenger line that will help these two towns grow. So if we build a passenger stop now, looking at their place, we've got a commercial area, an industrial area, and we have a residential area. So I like the idea that when we come from High Wycombe, we're going to drop off here. They can then connect onto the commercial area through here and here, and then we will go to the industrial areas. So we'll get a loop here and then a connection. Just need to connect up the streets here, like so. And a lot of people like grids. I don't like grids. I live in England. We don't have grids very often. There's only one place that has grids. It's called Milton Keynes, and it's not as exciting as you might think. So I'm going to avoid grids, and I'm going to use that transport hub rather than building another one. And we'll have a little loop line that goes around the various stations of Market Bosworth. So we have the Market Bosworth loop, and then we can also have a line that will connect those two together. So we'll have our connection from Market Bosworth to High Wycombe. These are quite long named places. So High Wycombe to Market Bosworth. So we have that connection to George Street there, and that will increase the number of transport connections here. Hopefully it will increase the number of transport connections, which will increase the growth potential of High Wycombe, as well as Market Bosworth, which now has 33 transport connections, and people can start to use those stagecoaches, which is nice. We don't want to see passengers building up, and that is going well. So I think we're about done for this one. I think the last thing, next episode, we're going to connect up this stone, start bringing up the stone to our central hub, and keep an eye on the traffic for our central cargo hub, which is looking rather busy with 2 lines on each platform at the moment. So we may need to completely rebuild this to be a 4-platform line, but we are starting to have the money from that. And then we'll start to connect in other places, like Keynsham will demand some of the bricks that produce over there, which will be good. And we could bring some tools potentially, or some machines into the central hub, which will help build up our cargo hub with stock to take along these lines. So that's for the next episode, and I'll see you then.